I just wanted to get a higher education, like graduate education in the United States. And that was my goal since I was like a junior in college. I applied to a bunch of American schools. Notre Dame was one of them. And a couple of schools accepted me. Notre Dame was the best of that field. So I just came over here.
So how do you like Notre Dame?
I like Notre Dame a lot. Yeah. I think it has a good academic standing. I think the people are very nice. And it's a Catholic place. Sometimes I feel like I'm in a family, because Catholics, they do show care to each other, and they do share the faith, and they get united under the same church. So I like that. In China, most people, they are not religious. They used to be Buddhist, but since about maybe 50 years ago, most people, they're not Buddhist anymore. So I didn't have any religious affiliation before I came to the U.S. But I went to Notre Dame, Notre Dame being the biggest Catholic U, and people are all Catholic, and I got very curious and interested in the Catholic faith. So I learned a lot since I've been here. I asked my friends, I would go to Mass every Sunday, and sometimes I talk to people who are into religion, like theology professors or like people who practice the Catholic faith a lot. So I just learn a lot from them. But as of this moment, I'm not converted to the Catholic yet. But I think in the future I might be converted. I'm thinking about this because I want to be prudent about my choice. And also, I'm kind of just trying to get to know about other religions a little bit more because I want to get a whole picture. There are so many types of religions. I can't just go right into Catholicism because I'm in the center of Catholicism. I also want to expose myself to other religions and see what they say because I want to discover the truth,
And how did you encounter Opus Dei?
I think the original reason was I was just really curious about Catholicism, and I was asking around one of my office mates named Michael. He said, Sam, I know you really want to know about the Catholic Church, and I know someone who can answer most of your questions well. So he introduced me to a graduate student at Notre Dame, and he happened to be, at that moment, he was a numerary in Opus Dei. He was a resident at the Opus Dei Center at Notre Dame, Wimore. So Michael introduced me to this guy named Chris Mears. We had lunch together. We enjoyed our conversation. And then we just began to meet each other a little bit more often. Religion kind of explains the big question, what's the big force behind everything that's going on in this world? Is it like supernatural? Is that just the one force in charge of all? And is this force always going to push humankind in the correct direction? I think religion answers those questions. And if I think in terms of like daily life, I think religion helps a lot in keeping peace in people's minds, and keeping people in mental balance. I would say people have something to believe in. People have a means to understand a lot of things that are happening in their life. For example, when they are working toward a goal, they might pray, and sometimes prayers work. And I guess that help a lot of people. I can imagine, like, for some of my friends, like if they don't have the resort to like pray to God, how can they keep themselves like in a good like mental state when they're working very hard toward a goal? So yeah, I think religion is really important. I don't know if you know, like in Soviet Union, the ex-communist country, they got rid of religion, like East Orthodox, I guess most Russians were, in the 1920s. And then nobody could go to church. They even wanted to get rid of Christmas at one time, and then World War II broke out, and the Soviets, they were fighting Germans. And then more like the Russian soldiers who were going to the front, they knew most likely they're going to die, killed by the Germans. So they all said, like, oh, I don't have any other requests before I go to the front. I like to sacrifice my life for the country, but I have one request. I want to go to church to pray for my future, for my family. And their family members would also say, oh, we just want to go to the church. Well, there's nothing we can do to help our sons and husbands, but we like to pray for them to come back alive. And then Stalin let them do that. And I think that moment is when religion, the importance of religion was fully revealed. Like people had to rely on religion to live through life, because that was a huge crisis for the Soviets. I just think human beings, they have trust in each other, but they have the most genuine and sincere trust in some supernatural being, and they want they want to be convinced that there is the existence of that supernatural being, and they want to communicate with that being, even when it's like one-way communication. They just pray to God, and they feel much better about themselves.
Have you begun to pray?
Yeah, I do pray, like maybe probably not too often. You know, I'm not a Christian, but I do pray sometimes when I feel frustrated or when I feel lost. Yeah, I think I tend to pray when I feel like lost. I need to talk to someone. One main message I could carry away with me, like from those people who I made friends from Opus Dei, is always be truthful with yourself. Like if you're very thoughtful about your life, if you try to expose yourself to many things and just be honest about them and think about them, and I think eventually you're going to discover the truth. For example, like a big question, does God exist? Is God that supernatural? Is God ubiquitous? Like if you just pay attention to your life, to all aspects of life, to the people in your life, to things going on around you, and you pay attention to them, try to understand them, and try to be truthful, and think about what's behind them, and how you can make things go better, or what's the, I mean, I don't know how to describe this, but my basic idea is honesty and sincerity and truthfulness just can help me a lot.